First Contact and Alliance. Commander Elena Reyes stood at the observation deck of Horizon Station, Earth's most distant research outpost, staring at the strange object on the main display. The cylindrical vessel tumbled through space, emitting pulses of light in regular patterns. Dr. Chen confirms it's definitely not natural, Lieutenant Okafor reported, joining her at the viewport. And definitely not one of ours. Elena nodded, her dark eyes fixed on the object. After decades of searching the stars, humanity had finally found evidence of intelligent alien life, not through radio signals or distant observations, but right on their doorstep. Prepare the intercept team, she ordered. Full containment protocols, but no visible weapons. If they're calling for help, we answer with open hands. The station's retrieval vessel, Artemis, deployed within the hour. Elena led the team herself, suited in the standard blue and silver of the Earth Cooperative Space Initiative. As they approached the alien craft, the light pulses intensified, creating complex patterns that seemed almost desperate. It's accelerating its signal, Dr. Akari, their xenolinguist, observed. I think it knows we're here. The retrieval was textbook perfect. The object, approximately 5 meters long and composed of a crystalline material that seemed to generate its own light, was secured in Artemis's cargo bay. Elena approached it cautiously, her team maintaining a safe distance. Hello, she said simply, feeling slightly foolish. We're from Earth. We're here to help. The object's pulsing light suddenly stabilized, then projected outward, forming a humanoid shape made entirely of golden light. It had no distinct facial features, just a suggestion of a head and limbs, yet somehow Elena felt it was studying her intently. Gratitude, relief, urgency. The emotional impressions flooded Elena's mind, not as words, but as feelings so strong they nearly brought her to her knees. Telepathic communication, Dr. Akari whispered, his own expression stunned. It's sharing emotions directly. The light being pulsed again, and this time images accompanied the emotions. A civilization of light beings living on planets bathed in perpetual sunshine. Their cities built of crystalline structures that amplified and channeled their light. Then darkness. Massive ships that absorbed light, commanded by shadowy figures. Planets going dark. Civilizations extinguished. They're called the Solarans, Elena reported later to the Earth Council, her voice steady despite the enormity of her discovery. They're a photonic life form, existing as organized light energy maintained within crystalline matrices. The being we recovered is an ambassador named. She paused, the sound impossible to pronounce. We're calling Lumina for simplicity. The holographic faces of the council members showed varying degrees of shock and skepticism. And this, Lumina, claims their civilization is under attack, asked Counselor Xavier, his bushy eyebrows raised. Not claims, Counselor. Shows. Elena tapped her neural implant, projecting Lumina's memories onto the council's displays. The Solarans are being systematically hunted by a species called the Void Dominion, beings that absorb light and energy. They've already destroyed 3 Solaran homeworlds. Why come to us? Counselor Aisha asked, her expression thoughtful. We're barely a century into interstellar travel. Elena smiled slightly. That's the fascinating part. Apparently, Solaran seers predicted that a species with iron in their blood would be their salvation. Human hemoglobin's iron content creates a unique energy signature that is toxic to the Void Dominion. Something about our biology disrupts their ability to absorb energy. The council chambers erupted in discussion. Earth had struggled with its own wars and environmental crises before finally unifying under the cooperative 70 years ago. They had only established 5 extrasolar colonies. The idea of becoming involved in an interstellar conflict was terrifying. But the alternative, standing by while an entire species was exterminated, was unthinkable. 3 months later, the first human Solaran joint base was established on Proxima Centauri, Earth's nearest colony. Elena, now promoted to admiral, oversaw the integration of solar and light tech with human machinery. The results were nothing short of miraculous. Their photonic processors operate at speeds we can't even measure, Dr. Chen explained, his eyes bright with excitement as he showed Elena the new navigation system. And when interfaced with our iron-based technology, it creates a field that the Void Dominion cannot penetrate. Lumina, who had become Elena's constant companion, pulsed with satisfaction. Partnership, strength, hope. The first test of this partnership came sooner than expected. A Void Dominion scout ship detected the unusual energy signature of the base and approached to investigate. It was a sleek, black vessel that seemed to absorb light around it, creating a visual distortion like a moving hole in space. "They're scanning us," Lieutenant Okafor reported, his hand steady on the weapons console despite the tension in his voice. "Let them look," Elena replied, "but prepare intercept vessels. No first strike." The Void vessel launched its attack without warning, a beam of concentrated dark energy that should have disabled the base's systems instantly. Instead, it dissipated harmlessly against the human Solaran shield. "Return fire," Elena ordered. "Targeted disabling shots only." The base's defense system fired, not traditional weapons, but concentrated beams combining solar and light energy and particles containing human hemoglobin. The effect was immediate and devastating. Where the beams struck the Void ship, its light-absorbing hull began to crack, light leaking through the fissures. "They're retreating," Okafor announced, disbelief in his voice. Lumina pulsed with fierce joy. Confirmation. Vindication. The iron-blooded ones fulfill the prophecy. As the Void ship disappeared into hyperspace, Elena knew they had just announced humanity's presence to a dangerous enemy. But they had also proven something crucial. Humans and Solarans together could fight back against what had seemed an unstoppable force. "They'll return with reinforcements," she told her command staff later. "This was just a scout. We need to prepare." Dr. Chen nodded grimly. "At least now we know our technology works. The combination of Solaran light energy and human hemoglobin-derived particles creates an energy signature that's anathema to their biology. Like poison to them," Okafor added. "No," Elena corrected, remembering the images Lumina had shared. "Like fire to a species that's only known darkness." As the team dispersed to their duties, Elena remained at the viewport, watching the stars. Humanity had just taken its first steps onto a much larger galactic stage and made its first powerful enemy. The coming conflict would define not just Earth's future, but perhaps the fate of all light in the galaxy. Lumina joined her, the Solaran's light form pulsing gently. "Question: Are we ready for this?" Elena asked softly. The light beam brightened. "Certainty. The iron-blooded ones bring what the Void fears most." "And what's that?" "Not just iron," Lumina's emotions conveyed. "Unpredictability. Creativity. Hope. The Void predicts patterns, consumes the expected. Humans create the unexpected." Elena smiled grimly. If there was one thing humans excelled at, it was being unpredictable. The turning point. 6 months after the first encounter, Proxima Base had transformed. What began as a scientific outpost now housed Earth's most advanced defense fleet. 12 battleships retrofitted with Solaran light tech, their hulls gleaming with embedded crystalline matrices. Admiral Elena Reyes studied the tactical display, the holographic map showing Void Dominion movements at the edges of the system. Their scout ship had indeed returned with reinforcements, a fleet of 27 vessels, each larger and more menacing than the first. They're holding position just outside weapon range, Security Chief Gabriel Torres reported. A former Earth Defense Force strategist, Torres had been skeptical of the alien alliance at first, but now worked seamlessly with the Solaran tacticians. Classic containment formation. "They're studying us." Elena nodded. "And we're studying them. What have we learned?" Dr. Akari, who had been analyzing Void Dominion communication patterns, stepped forward. "They're hierarchical, with a rigid command structure. Each ship must receive authorization before changing position or tactics. It makes them predictable. Predictable is good, Elena replied. What about the new defense system? Chief Engineer Maya Singh's face appeared on a side screen, her expression excited despite visible exhaustion. Final calibrations complete, Admiral. The hemoglobin-infused light cannons are operating at 94% efficiency. We've also equipped all personnel with the personal shields. Elena glanced at her wrist, where a small crystalline disc pulsed with golden light. Solaran technology, powered by a microscopic sample of her own blood. In tests, it had proven capable of repelling void energy attacks that would otherwise be lethal. Lumina, what do your people think? Elena asked. The Solaran ambassador, now recognized officially by Earth's government, pulsed thoughtfully. Concern. Determination. The void brings more than we expected. They fear you. That was both encouraging and troubling. Fear made enemies dangerous. A sudden alert cut through the command center. Unauthorized transmission detected, Torres announced, his fingers flying over the console. It's coming from inside the base. Elena's blood ran cold. Source. Lab 7. Dr. Petrova's station. Dr. Irina Petrova, one of their most brilliant physicists responsible for integrating Solaran light matrices with human neural interfaces. Elena had personally recruited her. Security team to Lab 7, now. Elena ordered, already moving toward the door, Torres at her heels. They found Petrova at her workstation, a strange black device in her hands. When she saw Elena, her expression shifted from concentration to resignation. They have my family, she said simply, dropping the device. On Mars colony. They'd promised they'd be spared. Torres secured the device while security personnel restrained Petrova. Elena felt a complex mixture of anger, betrayal, and pity. Who contacted you? She demanded. They call themselves void disciples, humans who believe the Dominion will eventually win and hope to secure favorable positions afterward. Petrova's voice was hollow. They showed me proof they had my daughter and husband. Elena's neural implant chimed with an urgent alert before she could respond. Admiral to Command Center, she said, turning away from the traitor. The tactical situation had changed dramatically. The Void Fleet was advancing, their formation shifting from containment to attack. They know we found their spy, Torres said grimly, returning to his station. They're accelerating their timeline. Or we just confirmed something they suspected, Elena countered. Lumina, did your people ever encounter species that allied with the Void willingly? The Solaran pulsed with dark colors. Affirmative. The desperate, the fearful, those who believe surrender means survival. But it doesn't, Elena stated rather than asked. Never. The Void consumes all light eventually. Elena straightened her uniform. Then we make our stand here. Alert all ships, battle stations, implements Sunflare Protocol. The command center burst into controlled activity. The Sunflare Protocol was a desperate gambit they had developed but hoped never to use. As the Void Fleet approached, the human Solaran defense ships moved into position, not in the standard defensive formation the enemy would expect, but scattered apparently haphazardly throughout the system. The first wave is entering weapons range, Torres reported. Hold fire, Elena ordered. Let them commit. The Void ships advance with methodical precision, their formation designed to absorb and neutralize energy-based attacks. They fired first, dark energy torpedoes that distorted space itself as they traveled. Now, Elena commanded. Instead of returning fire directly, the human Solaran ships activated their specialized engines simultaneously, each creating a controlled photonic eruption that flooded the system with precisely calibrated light. The Solaran crystals embedded throughout Proxima Base amplified the effect, creating a web of light energy. On the tactical display, the light web appeared to have no effect on the incoming torpedoes, until each torpedo passed through an intersection point in the web. At those precise coordinates, The torpedoes encountered microscopic clouds of aerosolized human blood plasma, causing them to detonate prematurely. Phase 2, Alina ordered. The defense ships fired their hemoglobin-infused light cannons, not at the void vessels themselves, but at the debris from their own torpedoes. The resulting secondary explosions created expanding rings of energy that the void ships could neither absorb nor evade. 5 enemy vessels disabled, Torres reported, his voice tense but controlled. 3 more showing signs of hull integrity failure. The Void Fleet's rigid formation began to break as ship commanders sought escape routes from the unexpected attack pattern. Their predictable, hierarchical response became their downfall. Ships collided as they received conflicting orders from their command structure. They're regrouping, Torres warned, adapting their formation. As expected, Alina replied. Phase 3. This was the most dangerous part of the strategy. The human ships accelerated directly toward the Void Fleet, apparently on suicide runs. At the last possible moment, they released their payloads, not weapons, but thousands of crystalline drones, each containing a Solaran consciousness temporarily paired with human neural patterns. The drones attached themselves to the Void ship's hulls, their hybrid energy signatures burning through the light-absorbing material like acid through metal. Where they breached the hulls, they injected human blood plasma directly into the ship's systems. The effect was catastrophic for the Void. Their biological technology, designed to absorb and control energy, had no defense against human hemoglobin's unique properties when combined with Solaran light. Ship after ship went dark, their systems failing. Enemy flagship is retreating, Torres announced, disbelief and triumph mingling in his voice. The remaining vessels are following. The command center erupted in cheers, but Alina remained focused on the tactical display. 17 void ships destroyed or disabled, 10 retreating, including their command vessel. 2 human ships lost, 4 damaged. Acceptable losses against a technologically superior force. Dispatch recovery teams to the disabled void ships, she ordered. I want prisoners and intelligence. Lumina pulsed with bright victorious light. Gratitude. Awe. The prophecy fulfilled beyond hope. Hours later, after the immediate crisis had passed, Alina stood in the interrogation chamber facing the captured Void commander, a tall, gaunt being with skin that seemed to absorb light, leaving his features in constant shadow. You have won a single battle, the commander said, his voice like grinding stone. The Dominion spans hundreds of systems. We will adapt to your blood weapons. Alina smiled thinly. Perhaps, but that adaptation will take time. And now every Solaran outpost is being equipped with our technology. Every human colony is preparing defense systems. She leaned closer. But here's what should truly concern you. We've only shared our oldest, simplest blood-based technology. Human medical science has advanced far beyond what you've seen today. The commander's shadowy features revealed nothing, but Alina sensed his unease. Return to your masters with this message, she continued. Humanity will defend its allies. The stars will not go dark. If the Void Dominion values its existence, it will respect our borders and the sovereignty of the Solaran worlds. As the commander was led away, Alina turned to Lumina, who had observed the exchange silently. Question. The Solaran projected. Will they listen? Alina asked. Uncertainty. The Void consumes. It knows no other way. Alina nodded grimly. Then we'll have to teach them. Today was just the beginning. Together, they walked to the observation deck, where the stars shone brightly against the darkness of space. For millennia, the Void Dominion had expanded unchallenged, extinguishing light and hope throughout the galaxy. But they had never encountered humans before, a species with iron in their blood and fire in their hearts, who refused to surrender to the darkness. The message would spread across the stars. Threaten humanity's friends, and you will face Earth's fury.